Hello and welcome to this video. This is going to be the part 1 of building the application. In this part of the video, we are going to start off by importing some modules. The modules we are going to import are Pygame. Pygame is a module that is used for creating video games. It includes computer graphics and sound libraries. So we're going to be utilizing the sound component of the Pygame module. Pygame does not automatically come included when you install Python. You have to install Pygame using pip. So we're going to install that later. The next module we're going to add is Tkinter. Tkinter is a module that is used for creating graphical user interfaces. And from that Tkinter module, we're also going to add another module called File Dialog. So it's a module from Tkinter. We have to import it. It is used to open or save things. So it has an open and save functions that will enable you to open up dialog boxes to save or open them. Within this file dialog module, we're going to import another module called Ask Directory. This Ask Directory basically is going to be responsible for presenting the user with a pop-up window to choose a directory to use. We're also going to import the OS module. The OS module basically provides functions that allows you to interact with the user's operating system. We will then go ahead to create the application window. We will add a title to the window. We will set the size for the application window. We are going to use the geometry method from Tkinter to set the dimensions of the window we want to use for the application. And this will also set the position of the main window on the user's desktop. So these are what we are hoping to achieve by the end of this video. The first thing we want to do is install Pygame. Pygame has to be installed because it doesn't come bundled with Python installation. And I'm going to install Pygame inside my virtual environment. You can see my virtual environment is active and this is the path for my environment. The reason for installing it in the virtual environment because I only want it to be available within that environment and not throughout my computer. So to install Pygame, you type in pip space install and then the word Pygame and press enter, and that should look for the package and install it. So you can see it's downloading the package and we'll wait for a few minutes. Once the package has been installed, it will tell you the package has been successfully installed. You can see here saying successfully installed Pygame, and it tells you the version, which is the most recent version. So now that we've got Pygame installed, we can now go ahead and import it into our Python file. Now that I have installed Pygame, let's go ahead and create a new Python file. So I've got my text editor open. I'm going to be using the text editor called Atom. So to create a new file, I go File, I click on New File. I'm just going to get rid of all these other panes so that we have a lot of space. And I'm going to save this file. So I'm going to go File. If I click on Save As, it will present me with a dialog box where I can choose where I want to save the file to. So it's giving me this location here, which is the location of my projects folder. This is where I've got some other Python files. So here in the file name, I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it music player.py. Make sure you add the .py file extension, and I'll click save. So you can see on this bottom here, it now says Python, which means anything I write here will be treated as a Python code. So let's go ahead and start importing the modules we want to use. So I'm going to import Pygame. So I type in import space Pygame, and I'll press enter. The next module I'm going to import is tkinter. So I'll type in import space tkinter, and I want to refer to this as an alias name. So I'll do as and type in the word tkr. Next, I'm going to import two other modules from the tkinter modules. So if you're importing from another module, you type in from tkinter, and from that tkinter module, I want to access the file dialog part, and from that file dialog, I'm importing the ask directory. Now this method is going to be responsible for providing the user with a pop-up window to select a directory to choose from where the music list is located. Next, I'm going to import the module called OS. Now this OS module will enable the functions within the operating system of the user's machine to interact with Python. Now that we've got all the modules we need imported, next thing I want to do is create the window for the player. To do that, I'm going to create a variable. I'm going to call it music player, and I'm going to set this to equals to tkr.tk. All right, so this is what creates the interface. All right, tkr is referring to the tkinter module, and tk is the method or the function within that module that creates the interface. All right, next thing I want to do is add a title for that interface. So I want to give the actual window a label name. So to do that, you do music player dot title, and then in parentheses I need to enclose the name for the title. So I'll say music player. The next thing I want to do is set the size for the music player, and we do that using a tkinter method which is called geometry. It's basically used to set the size within the window. So to do that, you type in music player. So each time I refer to this music player, I'm referring to this variable on line number 7. So I'll say music player dot, I'm adding the method called geometry, and that method takes in some arguments. So this is the parameters I'm going to use to present the size. So I'll do 450, which is the width, by the height. So you multiply the width by the height. So I'll do 450 by 350, but you can experiment with this value and just choose the one that is most suitable to you. All right, so this now sets the actual size of the window for the music player within the application window. All right, so I'm going to end this part of the video here, and we will continue in part 2. Thanks for watching.